Spooky hours. But we doing the Fuego Files. I'm blowing Keith in the wood. In an undisclosed location in the woods, PA. And I still got hoops. Oh my God. Specifically this nigga Penny Hardaway. I caught the interview he did on All the Smoke with Matt Barnes and my boy Steven Jack. And yeah, man, this nigga Penny was the man. We don't talk about him much now. According to him, he only had 7 good years, which may be correct, but I don't even remember that many. But I do want to say that Penny was like the man. See, the new kids don't know that like in the 90s, like Jordan was the man. Everybody knew that. But we had Grant Hill, Kobe, and Penny. Those were the 3 that was supposed to take the mantle. They were the ones. They were the ones that was supposed to take the league by storm when Jordan left. Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, and Kobe. And just so you know, all 3 of them first shoe, absolute fire. Fire. The Grant Hills, the Penny, the Foams, and the Crazy 8, the Adidas Crazy 8s. Them joints, when them shits hit, now the Crazy 8s was probably the more popular of all of them, because quiet as it's kept, people wasn't really fucking with the foams. And I think Fila was kind of on their way out from being popular. From what I understand, Fila was like, that was some fly nigga shit in the 80s, because that shit was from Italy. Like, then they started making like sneakers, I guess, and it just went left from there. But the Grant Hill joints, he had a couple shoes that was fire with them, but they was kind of on their way out. But niggas had them. Don't let niggas tell you they ain't wear Filas back then. They definitely did. But let's not talk about Grant Hill. I was never a Grant Hill guy. Nigga went to Duke. You know what I'm saying? When I was young and dumb and under the age of 10, I used to think I wanted to go to Duke because I fuck with the logo and I like they shorts, the blue and white shorts. Them shits was fire. I still gotta get me some. Neither here nor there. R.I.P. Cope. We all gotta talk about Cope. But I do want to talk a little bit about Petty and just kind of, you know what I'm saying, who he was when we was kids. Like, this nigga was, he right. And I urge everybody to go check out that interview with Matt Barnes and Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson that he did on All the Smoke. Because they break it down, like Penny was doing numbers at the same position as Jordan was during the Jordan era. Something else I didn't know, everybody talk about the 72 and 10 Bulls, but don't nobody talk about the teams that beat them. Just so happened, this nigga Petty was one of the teams. He said they was one of the first squads. You know what I'm saying? He said he gave this nigga 36, bruh. No Shaq. Them niggas won. So that right there should let you know, this nigga had the squad hooping on another level, bruh. You see in the Jordan doc, I think they caught them niggas in the Eastern Conference. It might have been the Eastern Conference Finals or the round just before the Eastern Conference Finals, the semifinals. But Penny was in it for a split second. I haven't seen the episode 10 of the Jordan doc yet, so I don't know if he's in it. But as far as I know, he's just in it for like a hot second, just playing hoops. You just see that nigga's film. But yeah, dog, this nigga had the fire shoe, and then they came with the commercial with this nigga Chris Rock as the voice of Lil Penny. Like, bruh, it was the coolest shit ever. This was back when everybody had cool commercials. Like, you had to invest in TV. We didn't have the internet, so you only learned about shit, You know what I'm saying? You had to watch the game. There were, like, you wanted replays, you had to watch Sports Center. You might not get the whole, they might not show the whole league. You know what I'm saying? You might not see all the tight shit that happened. You had to get the magazine slammed. You had to get all the magazines. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it is today. So when they made you a star, you was a star. Everybody knew you, and everybody knew Penny. I guess everybody knew Penny was the guy. You feel me? Because they blew him up like crazy. And the commercials just made it even bigger. Like, I remember, like, I went to a private school when I was young. And I remember all the white kids, like, they love Lil Penny too. Everybody had the Orlando Magic jersey. You couldn't find the Orlando Magic starter jacket. We might have to do a whole episode just on the starter jacket. But yeah, you couldn't find nothing Orlando. And this is like after Shaq. I think he played with Shaq like 1 or 2 years. Normally I check the stats and have that for y'all, but like I said, I be coming off the dome with this shit. But yeah, I think he only played with Shaq maybe 1 or 2 years. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I am, or if I got it right. But yeah, he only played with Shaq like 1 or 2 years, and then he started ringing off, and it was just him in the Jordan era. No, I think Jordan had left by then when it was just him. So yeah, I think Penny was just ringing off with just him. Don't ask me who else was on his squad at this point, because I don't know. I don't remember none of them, and that's the point. Like, when you talk about the post-Jordan era, everybody talk about AI, and AI was definitely there. You got to talk about Grant Hill. And yeah, I guess Penny, and that must have been like, I was like in Penny's, he must have been reaching his prime, because shortly he definitely got injured, and the injuries is what did him in. But I seem to remember AI becoming like the guy. Everybody wanted to be like, it didn't go to Penny like how we thought it would. It went directly to AI. And Penny never had a shoe as fire as the first one. So he didn't have the impact. That's not true. That's not true. When I say his shoe wasn't as fire, I just mean like, if the first Penny was a 10, the second one was probably an 8.5, 9, depending on how you look at it. I fuck with them. The white and blue joints with the wave on it. You don't see him very often. I think they retroed him once, so you don't see him very often. But yeah, his shoe is fire. His whole line is fire. But the foam posit, and I'm going to get to that at the end of this, because that's very important too. Yeah, Penny kept getting hurt. He finally talked about it. My man tore his meniscus, but he had been playing on the joint for a year. Didn't get help. These niggas definitely played 82. He talked about it. I don't want to give away the interview. It's not an interview recap. That's not what I'm trying to do. I definitely, like I said, just check it out. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, he was the guy. And yeah, and let me get to the shoe before I wrap this up. The shoe drops. It was the first $200 sneaker, basketball sneaker, I think that ever hit, but definitely by Nike. And when it came out, like, I remember, like, they had it in the middle of the store. They had it on like a stand, and like they only had like one out, and everybody was picking it up. Like, this was like, I mean, of course you could pick up shoes and look at them back in the day. Like, they ain't have them covered in plastic. I don't know where y'all live at. Someplace they cover them in plastic. But this was like, it was like on a pedestal. It was like the best basketball shoe ever invented. Like, this was the shit. I think it was the very first shoe that had foam in it. At the same time, the Nike Air Foamposite Pro dropped with the neon check, and that to me was the more fire. I believe it dropped the same time. I could be wrong. I think it dropped at the same time, or maybe a little bit after. But they had the Foamposite Pros look just like the Pennies. They just have a check on them. And I remember this because I remember seeing both of them in the store, because the Pennies, while them shits was fire, niggas was not paying $200 for no sneakers back then. That just was not a thing. Just not a thing. So they definitely had pairs available well after their release. Well after the release. Not like now. It's not the world wasn't on sneakers like they are right now. Some people were, but the world wasn't. And if you saw a nigga with him while you was out, like he was the guy. He was definitely the guy. Or you saw a chick with him, she was definitely that chick. Faux show. With the clear, that's what the shoe that made me fall in love with, the clear gel bottom. Not the blue tint bullshit, the ice, like the clear joint. If you have to, I don't know if any of the new retros have a clear one, but my old head sneakerheads know what I'm talking about. That shit is clear. So I think it was the first one. I remember my father asked the Foot Locker guy why the shoe was $200. And the dude's response was because it keeps your foot, or it's designed to keep your foot closer to the ground. And my father just thought that was the dumbest shit he had ever heard, because your foot's already on the ground. That's a whole nother other story. But suffice it to say, did not get a pair of pennies. In fact, to this day, I don't own a pair of pennies, but I have maybe 4 or 5 pair of foams, which is embarrassing because that's $1,800. But yeah, never ever copped a pair of pennies. I like some of the pennies. I like a lot of the pennies. A lot of them. Correction. That's a lie. I have 1 pair of pennies because the purple joints, wait, are those even? I don't know if the eggplant are pennies or if, I think they're pennies. They're definitely pennies. Yeah, I have a pair of the eggplant pennies, and that was like one of my grail shoes coming up. Was that foam in the eggplant. The other one was the Flight Posit, and the original pennies, which I also missed on. But I think I might have to go cop those. Give fuck what they cost. I might have to cop those. But I say all that to say, the shoe is very important in Penny's career, because even he says it in the interview, like the shoe helped keep him relevant. Because when he went to Phoenix, he got traded to Phoenix, then he bounced around the league. Like niggas was just, everybody was like, dog, like he was supposed to be the guy, and he wasn't the guy. Like by that time, injuries had just derailed everything. Like, and everybody that ever saw him play before he got hurt was just, damn, this is a totally different guy right here. So all I had to say, check out the interview that they did with him on All the Smoke. And yeah, man, like just remember, like, I know like LeBron is the guy, Steph is the guy, like there's a lot, Kevin Durant, like there are people, like the league's changed so much. Like the way you judge players now is way different than before. And you know, before you didn't have to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody knew you're not going to be better than Jordan. So like you was compared to Jordan, but that wasn't like the gold standard as whether or not you were an all-star. And maybe we'll have to get into that another time. But for now, like I said, this is a Fuego Files during the spooky hours. So yeah, just stay tuned. We still working. I have a couple fresh takes for y'all. I'm trying to do a video every day for a while. I haven't set the number yet, but we just keeping it going. So yeah, stay with me. And Fuego Files, I guess this is episode 2. Yeah, see more Fuego out.